video, um, we added fractions. We also subtracted fractions. So now we're going to continue with fractions, and the objective is to multiply fractions. So let's have a scenario: 1 over 5 multiplied by 2 over 5. In this instance, the base is the same. With fractions, we don't look for lowest common multiple. We just multiply numerator and numerator, denominator and denominator. So in this instance, we are going to say 1 times 2, we get 2, all over 5 times 5, we get 25. And we cannot further simplify this, so we leave it as 2 over 25. So the final answer becomes 2 and 22 over 25. So multiplication of fractions is quite simple in the sense that we just concentrate on the numerator and the denominator. Okay, let's look at multiplication of mixed fractions. So I can just add a 1 there, I can add a 2 there, right? So now this becomes a mixed fraction because we've got whole numbers and portion of a whole number, which is 1 over 5, and in this instance 2 over 5. So what do we do? It's very simple and straightforward. We multiply our whole number and our denominator, which is 1 times 5, which is 5 plus 1, we get 6 all over 5 multiplied by 2 times 5 is 10 plus the 2, which is 12, 12 all over 5. We go back to the same concept. We multiply numerator and numerator. So in this instance, our numerator is going to be 6, and our numerator in this instance is going to be 12. So 6 times 12, which becomes 72. 72 all over 5 times 5, which is what? 25. So we further simplify that. So 25 into 72, it goes in 2 times, and then a remainder of 22 over 25. So the final answer becomes 2 and 22 over 5. That's the final answer. Okay. Let's look at another aspect, which is division of fractions. Division of fractions. If we have 1 over 5 divided by 2 over 5, because it becomes very difficult to divide a fraction with another fraction. So what we simply do is we invert the right hand side, right, which is the 2 over 5. So we rewrite that 1 over 5. Then when we invert, we also change the division sign. It becomes a multiplication. So when we invert that, it becomes 5 over 2. So now we're back at multiplication of fractions. So it becomes 1 times 5, which is 5 over 5 times 2, which is 10. We don't leave it like this because we can further simplify that. 5 into 5, 1, 5 into 10, it's a 2. So the final answer becomes 1 over 2. That becomes the final answer. Okay. Let's look at dividing fractions, mixed fractions. I'm going to add a 2 there. I'm going to put a 1 there. The first thing that we need to do is every time we want to divide mixed fractions, we need to convert these mixed fractions into improper fractions, where the numerator becomes greater than the denominator. So it's 2 times 5, which is 10, plus 1, which is 11 over 5. Our division sign, 1 times 5 is 5, plus 2, which is 7 over 5. So in other words, we can now go back to where we were in the first example. So we are going to invert the right-hand side, right? So 5 will become the numerator. So we rewrite that 11 over 5, and now 5 becomes the numerator, then 7 becomes the denominator. Because we have inverted that, we still need to keep a balance. Now we are going to multiply. So we are going to say 11 times 5, which is 55, over 35. right? And we know for a fact we can still further simplify that, and we are dividing 35 into 55. It goes in there, 1 remainder 20 over 35. So it becomes 1 and 20 over 35. Obviously, we can still further simplify that because we still have common factors that will go into 20 and 35. So it becomes the 5 into 20, that becomes a 4. 5 into 35, that becomes a 7. So in other words, we can rewrite this final answer as 1 and 4 over 7. So that is what we get after we divide these two mixed fractions. So the trick is, when we want to divide a fraction, life becomes very simple when we invert. We invert the right-hand side. After we invert, we need to also change the sign from a division sign to a multiplication sign. Okay? Thank you.